Right then folk, welcome back to another video beer review. Today we've got a bit of a versus between two different beers. I've seen that one chap who reviews beers on YouTube has been doing quite a lot of verses, so I thought worth doing one. And this one, I don't know whether this one's actually been done or not, but we've got two lagers. We have good old fashioned Heineken, done that many a time, and then Heineken Silver, which I've had once before but never reviewed, so I thought it'd be good to do a versus between the two. I used to drink quite a lot of Heineken years back. I would never have it out of the green bottles. I always much preferred the cans. They stopped doing it in 500ml cans, or pint cans and stuff. I think you can maybe find them now and again, but in supermarkets and stuff it's typically just a 330ml. And as soon as it went to 330ml, it annoyingly stayed at the same price. So there was this further kind of premiumisation of Heineken, and that didn't really help in terms of me buying it. Also, I think it might still be in Wetherspoons and stuff, but I'm not sure if it still is, but I used to get it from there as well. So the difference initially on the bottles, ABV, well, both 650ml bottles. ABV on the standard Heineken 5%. I seem to think silver, yeah, it's just a touch less at 4%, and just says extra refreshing taste. Unique recipe with Heineken A yeast. So the standard Heineken says brewed in the UK and Netherlands, packaged by Heineken UK Limited, 3 to 4 Broadway Park, Edinburgh. Ingredients are water, malty barley, hop extract. No yeast apparently on this one. Does say it somewhere else though, I'm sure. And then on the silver, ice cold lagering process at -1 degree Celsius for an extra refreshing taste and crisp subtle finish. And so it's imported, this one, so it's imported to the UK. It is not brewed in the UK. So interesting that it is still the same bottle type and everything, and bottle size, but yeah, so it's effectively import lager. So we're going to use, I've only got one Heineken glass. We use a standard Heineken glass for standard Heineken, and then for Heineken Silver we'll use a Carlsberg export glass. I'll open up the, I literally just got these today from the petrol station, and it was a bit of a deal, so I thought it'd be good fun to give them a go. I know with this Heineken glass it is a nightmare for doing this, so I am just going to pour it up to there. It is absolute turd to pour into because it just goes mad like that. So we'll pour even crack open the silver as well. See if we get much of a difference. I had silver in, I can't remember what the pub's called, in a pub in Preston about, must have been, was it earlier on? It was last year. It was kind of back end of last year. Also, DGM, I do apologise, and don't, but yeah, I had it as like the final pint of the day sort of thing when we were in Preston, after having done Rivington and various other bars around Preston. But the beer's looking like that, and that for the moment. So, is there any difference in colour? I think the silver is lightly darker, just a touch darker, lightly darker. You shouldn't really have, but yeah, just a touch darker. We'll try and pour the rest of these in. It'll take some time, but I'll get the rest of them in due course. Right then folk, we've got pretty much about the same amount of beer in each glass, judging by what is out of the bottles. There we are. So you can definitely tell that the silver's that touch darker. You can see it there. It was pouring a bit more easily. It might be, as I say, down to the glass, because this is always a bloody nightmare. But standard Heineken, both smell skunky, of course being in the glass bottles that they are in. But kind of standard sweetness, slight tinniness. I used to drink this like no tomorrow, and I do wonder why at times. It smells better than a lot of other lagers, but yeah, like macro lagers is what I mean. We'll dive in. Cheers. I must say, they're not ice cold. They were in the fridge at the garage where I picked them up, but that touch, just kind of warmed up a little bit because it is like 24 degrees or something in there at the moment. But yeah, on that you get just standard kind of light honey sweetness, lemon note, a bit rough around the edges, tinny, and a bit of skunkiness. Let's go on the silver and see what that's like. Definitely more bready, way more bready. Bready, a light kind of caramel note. I'm hunting for that same kind of light, very, very faint citrus that I got in the standard Heineken. It's very, very light and floral, but there is definitely a citrusy, a tiny citrusy edge. I say just lemony note more than anything on the standard Heineken. Whereas silver's definitely more bready. A little bit more gassy, I'd say. Just a touch more carb on it. But still has that kind of nice little bit of residual sweetness that you get with standard Heineken. What do I prefer out of the two? I think weirdly I'm going to go for silver. Whereas standard Heineken I think does deliver. They're both good, for macro kind of lagers, and green bottle as well. But I think that the silver just delivers a little bit more in terms of, obviously it's at 1% lower ABV, a bit more sessionable at that rate. And I think the flavours, where Heineken had some pretty ropey kind of flavours, this doesn't have them to the same extent. It still has that kind of slight metallic note at the back end, but it's nothing anywhere near like what the standard Heineken is. So yeah, a nice little versus to do of the two beers. Would I buy them again? Probably both would do at some point, but if I see some silver around, then I'll be hunting that down for sure. I'll try and do a canned versus. What's that? Thermomix going at some point, and then know a bit better. But yeah, nice fun one to do. See you next one. Cheers.